everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. We're joined by the head coach, Gary Puccio. Coach, how are you today?
All right, how you doing, Gavin?
Good, thanks for coming back. I know you said last time you weren't sure if you were back, but we're glad that you're here.
What a guy, huh?
Nice guy. Well, let's get into it. We had last weekend, you had a split against Bryant, who had come in with a 17-3 mark in the NEC. So did the guys kind of exceed your expectations going in?
Well, we teach them that what we want is to split on the road and win series at home. So that's exactly what they did. Obviously, when you're playing a first-place team and you're playing them on their turf, I think Bryant had only lost one game in the league at home the whole year. So to go in there and win two from them on their own soil is, I think, fairly impressive and I think a good sign for the future. They're an excellent team. They pitched well. They hit the heck out of the ball. They do some nice stuff. So to come out there with a split, I was definitely happy.
Going game by game. Friday, it was a little bit rough. It was an 8-1 loss. Their pitcher throws a 3-hitter. So what's kind of going through your mind after that first game?
You know, Friday's conditions to play were not good. The wind was howling. It was blowing all over the place and definitely carrying out to right field. Like, I thought Craig pitched a lot better than the line score really indicates, because I know he gave up 3 home runs, but 2 of them were definitely wind-blown or wind-assisted home runs. So I don't think he pitched as badly as maybe the stats show. They obviously have a lot of lefty power hitters. That's playing to your own park, playing to your home territory, and it worked out for them. They hit the ball well that day, and obviously they're used to playing in that kind of weather too, so I'm sure that helped. It was about 53, but with the wind chill it was, I don't know, in the high 30s maybe. So it definitely didn't help. Not to make excuses, because obviously they're a good team, and they beat us. I can't say anything else, but I definitely feel Craig didn't pitch as poorly as the line score might indicate.
Right, and then moving on to Saturday, you're able to sweep the doubleheader in the 2 7-inning games. Game 1's a 3-1 win. Borelli gives you 6 strong innings, then Snyder comes in and shuts the door. You guys got all the runs that you needed in 1 inning, so was that nice to be able to string some hits together and get those 3 runs?
What was nice was it happened with 2 out, nobody on, and it was 4 freshmen in a row, which was, I think Riley walked and Mack hit a single to left to make first and second, and McClure doubled in 2, and Siebler singled home McClure. So we got 3 runs out of 4 freshmen with 2 out, nobody on. I took that as a great sign, and obviously the 2 guys that pitched the game were freshmen, so that's just a good sign for the future that they're starting to step up and starting to do some real good things. So yeah, the first win was a very impressive win. Borelli pitched great. I know Ryan bobbled a double play ball that would have ended an inning. We still got an out on it, but had we turned a double play, it would have been a shutout. And that's kind of why I let Borelli start the 7th, even though it was 3-1. But I had told Joe, I said, first guy gets on, I'm going to Snyder, because I think it was save number 9, which tied a single season record. Right. So that was big.
And then in the second game, it was another win, a 5-3 win. You went with your ace Eliason on the mound, who gave you another good outing, and then Snyder broke the record in the second game with his 10th save. So what was working for you guys in the second game?
You know what? I got to give almost all the credit of the second game to my assistant coaches, to Coach Scold and Coach McKay, because I wasn't, as you know, Brandon Butler got hurt before the trip, right as we were leaving. So all of a sudden we were short for a pitcher, and I kind of wasn't sure how I wanted to play it. And both my assistants felt, let's move Mike up to the 7-inning game. He probably will be able to throw 7 innings for you. Worst case scenario, you might have to use one other pitcher, and that'll give you more leeway for Sunday. And I wasn't 100% for it, and the more I thought about it, and the more they talked to me about it, I said, you know what, it's worth a shot. And as it turned out, they were 100% right. Mike pitched terrific. I think it was 5-0 going into the bottom of the 9th. And then, of course, he made it a little hairy for us and gave up 2 runs. He had a man on third of 5-2, and I believe there was 1 out at the time. And I just said to myself, well, he's got 1 more hitter. This guy hits a sac fly, 5-3, 2 out, nobody on. I'll let him finish. This guy singles in his run. I'm going to Snyder. And, of course, the guy singled in the run. So now we had the timer at the plate, and I called on Eric, and he's just been absolutely outstanding for us. It was save number 10, first FDU player in history, which is 60-something years, to save double digits in a season. And what's remarkable is he's now second on the all-time list with 10, which is, Eric wasn't even supposed to be our closer at the start of the year, and I went to him and said, I need a kid who I know has some guts and is going to step up and do the job. And boy, it's turned out to be a terrific decision.
Game on Sunday, Bryant was able to pull out the win. But at that point, do you say, we were to have the split lined up, or are you kind of disappointed with how it ended?
I think that's one of the issues I kind of have still with a young team is we did the same thing in Central Connecticut. We won the first three, and I tell them win 3 out of 4 at home, and in the fourth game we were sloppy as hell. And this series, as I said, split on the road, and we had gotten the split already, and we just seemed to be very ho-hum about the game. I've got to change that. I mean, one of the things I teach is level of play, staying steady no matter who you're playing, no matter what the score, no matter what the inning, no matter what the day. And we have to do a better job of that. I believe they were satisfied, right? They were happy with what they had done. Does that mean we could have won anyway? No. I mean, I thought Bryant's pitcher was outstanding that day, too, so he has to get a lot of credit for why they won that day. We still got some learning to do. We still got some growing up to do. So hopefully it's a learning experience. And that's one of the things I tried to tell them is Bryant didn't come out here satisfied, or Bryant didn't come out here saying, well, we'll just get a split or whatever. They were angry. They came out hard to play, and that's one of the things we have to start learning.
Your bullpen has kind of been a strength for you guys all year, and you had mentioned Snyder. Could you talk a little bit more about how he's played this year and what your expectations were for him coming into the season?
Well, when I first recruited Eric, we talked about him being a starting pitcher for us, and probably would have started out in the non-league games, and then as he developed, maybe moving into a league starter. But we had a situation where the kid we brought into that we thought was going to be our closer wasn't happy with the school, didn't like being here, told me he wanted to leave. We let him out of his letter of intent in January. And like I said, I went to Snyder and I just said, look, I really don't have a closer right now, so I need someone. And in my mind, you're the toughest kid I got. So I want a kid that has toughness. Eric's more a contact type pitcher. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. And I said, I want a kid that I know has the guts and the ability to, under pressure, rear back and get it done for us. And he has done that tremendously all year long. He's just an outstanding closer for us, and he's a big reason we're where we are.
Like we said, Snyder now has 10 on the season, so he's first all-time in single season history, and he's also second all-time in career history. So I got a chance to catch up with Eric and talk about his freshman season. We're joined today by Eric Snyder, a freshman out of the bullpen for the FDU baseball team. Eric, how you doing today?
Pretty good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us. We want to talk about your performance on the mound. You recently became the single-season all-time saves leader. You have 10 this year. So what does that mean to break that honor?
I mean, it feels good so far, but we're not really over yet, so I didn't really let it sink in too far. I mean, there's still more to be getting, so keep saving games, and we'll see what happens.
When you were in high school, you were a starter, and I guess now that you transitioned to the bullpen, how's the difference been, and you have less time to warm up, or how has that been for you?
I thought the transition would be a lot harder than it actually is. My arm life has always been good, like being raised as a starter, so my arm's healthy every day. I'm ready to throw every day, so it kind of works in my favor. Getting loose isn't too bad considering I just head out in the 6th inning, and then hopefully by the 9th they need me and I'm ready.
So having experience as a starter and out of the bullpen, do you have a preference?
I don't know. I like the closer mentality, believe it or not. I'd rather clean up a mess than start one.
I guess what has been the key to your success so far?
Throwing strikes, believe it or not. We, as a team, just try to throw strikes, get ahead, and a lot of times these hitters just get themselves out. So as long as I have trust in my defense and I throw strikes, pretty successful so far.
And then you guys have a young staff, a lot of freshmen in there. Has there been one pitcher that you've really looked up to or went to for guidance so far?
Probably not even a freshman. I think it'd probably be Michael Eisen just because of his attitude and his mentality on the field behind me. And then not even a pitcher like Ryan Kresge, Matt Holzman. They kind of keep me intact and they keep my confidence up and my I'm calm all the time. Pretty much because of them. If I get worked up, they calm me down. So not necessarily pitchers as much as just the seniors altogether. They're just a great group of guys.
And then the one thing that all closers have is their walk-up song. We know that yours changed a little bit, so can you kind of tell us the story behind that?
Michael Eisen decided to go behind my back a little bit and just change my song without really me telling. So it started off with the song I originally had, and I expected to come out and get pumped up to that song. And in the middle of my trotting out from the bullpen, I'd hear something very different, and I just kind of went with it, and it stuck. So closing time it is.
Well, we hope to get a few more saves down the road, And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You know, before you go on there, Mr. Neville, let me just point out that at the awards banquet the other night, you were the recipient of the SAC Staff Appreciation Award.
Yes,
Congratulations.
sir. Thank
That's
you.
Terrific.
I appreciate that. I think this show probably put it over the top for us.
I think this show had a lot to do with it, you know, and maybe Kelsey too.
I think so. But you guys also were honored. The team with the Walter Marusin, a male athlete of the year, went to Ryan Kresge. The George Braun Leadership Award went to Michael Eisen. And then the strength and conditioning coach, Kyle McMinn, gave you guys the Iron Knight Award. So what does that mean to you guys?
Well, I think it's the first time that we've done so well at the awards banquet at the end of the year, which is, again, a good sign of where things are going with the baseball program. Kyle, with the kids working hard in the weight room, I think that had a lot to do with us having the progress we've had this year, because he did a great job over the winter and over the fall getting them ready for this and keeping them to maintain their strength during the season. So that was a big one to us. And you know, I've said this about Michael Eisen since the day I named him the captain. It's the best move I ever made here. I still believe it's the best move I ever made here. And he is a natural leader and has done some great things. And Ryan Kresge is one of the top 10 players I've ever coached. And him being male athlete of the year just fits. The kid's, you know, after a slump, he's still hitting 385. I mean, the kid's just been incredible. So we would appreciate that we got these awards, but I also think they were well deserved.
For the upcoming series, you're going to play Mount St. Mary's. You have 2 series left, but this is the one coming up with Mount St. Mary's. So are you worried about the intensity of your guys going from playing the team that's in first place to the team that's in last place in the NEC?
I think I worry no matter who we're playing. You know, if we were playing Monmouth, I'd be worried. If we were playing Bryant, I was worried. We played Sacred Heart, I was worried. And playing Mount St. Mary's, I'm worried. I think that's just the nature of the business is you're never sure how your kids are going to take the field. And one of the things I tried to stress to them was last year we were in a situation where we were, you know, near the bottom of the league and came in and beat Wagner 3 out of 4. So you just never know what's going to happen. You have to. That's one of the reasons, again, that I try to emphasize level of play and not the winning and losing. That if we play at a certain level, the winning takes care of itself. And our level means playing real good defense, throwing strikes, keeping the ball in park, and getting timely hits. And when we do that, we're successful. And hopefully we'll keep that in mind this weekend. And hopefully, you know, make it a. We've been very, very successful at home in the league. I think we're 9-3 in the league at home. I think we're 12-5 overall. So the opportunity to be successful at home is always great. It's always better than on the road, and we've got to take advantage of that again, and hopefully we will.
Well, Coach, an NEC berth in the playoffs seems like it's close, right around the corner, so we'll hope to talk more about that next week with the next edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. But thanks for your time this week.
Thank you.